What was happening for you when you first kind of bumped into our service?
I was smoking a lot of cannabis on the regular, probably about 30 to 40 pounds a week.
Okay.
You know, it's really bad.
And you didn't have a lot of money.
You know, I had no money for clothes. I had no money for, you know, my hygiene. Sort of from them points of view, I started using it to sort of cloud other problems that I had, and then it escalated to I needed it then to get myself to sleep at night, to function properly. 13 when I first tried my first spliff. My confidence literally just dropped.
Can you help us just get a picture in our minds of what it was that you felt very unconfident about at that time? Because you were, I do remember this a little bit when I first met you.
It sort of felt like everybody was, you know, sort of looking at me. Everybody was judging me for sort of what I looked like. I mean, a simple common mistake like tripping, you know, sort of tripping outside, would lead me to like rush inside and, you know, go really hot and really sweaty and yeah.
And when you said tripping outside, you meant tripping over?
Not tripping over.
Okay.
I wasn't really taking to it much. I didn't really think anybody could help my situation.
So when the social worker said there's these people caseless,
yeah.
What about it? Your thoughts were,
you know, sort of who are these? What are they going to, you know?
Did you have? That's quite fascinating. Did you have some sort of imaginings about what we were going to be like and what did you imagine we would be like, or fear?
My fear was at the time that nobody could help. I was really worried that it would just be where I would have to, you know, make the effort to come and, you know, like, sort of for appointments, and that I would have to like be the one to step out and try. But at that sort of time, I wasn't really, you know, it was so hard for me. I wasn't really at that place to do that. And then I was introduced to Verity.
Verity, okay.
Cases.
What made Verity lovely? Apart from the fact that she's a lovely person, but what made her?
I think I took to her because she was very young. In the past, I usually had advice from doctors or A&E, but they were quite old. And
Like me.
You're not that old. And it sort of felt like she could relate to what I was feeling because she was quite young, and you know, it just felt like a connection of she could understand how I was feeling, you know, what was sort of going on in my life. That she took to what I was, or what I had explained, what my feelings were, how I was feeling at the time. She took to it very well, which it calmed me. You know, my anxiety was so high at that time. I mean, I was cutting myself off from seeing, you know, even my parents. I wasn't having much contact with anybody at all. I was sitting in every day, you know, in a stupid little room.
It was a tiny room.
Yeah, I was very like, just really anxious. I didn't feel like I was worth anything.
You said something that made my ears prick up a little bit. That feeling that Verity was she kind of connected in a little bit with how you felt.
Yeah.
You said it calmed me down a bit.
Yeah.
Can you just say a bit more about that? So what happened then? I mean, you know, what did that mean? I mean, what?
It meant a lot to me, an awful lot. To know that there's somebody that, you know, like I felt a connection of maybe I can sort of, it feels to me like I can, you know, I'm getting help here now. It was like she made me feel like I was worth something, and it was it was continuously. I think she'd continuously come to. You know, she'd knock on different days. She'd try. You know, she'd try come on different times, different days. She'd try ring my phone.
Did you feel like you were being stalked, or was it nice? I mean, I'm making fun of it, but it's not.
It was nice.
It was nice.
Definitely.
Can you just help me a little bit? What was nice about that? What?
It made me think that somebody like, you know, it was kind of like I was worth something. It was. I didn't just feel like I had nobody. It felt like somebody was interested in what I'm feeling and how I was and what I was experiencing at the time.
And kind of kept going. Didn't just sort of do it for
like a week or so. It was,
I'm bored.
It was continuous.
Yeah.
She couldn't have done a better job.
What sorts of things? Can you just? I mean, we can't go through the whole thing, but what sorts of things might she and you have worked on? Can you just give us a few examples of the sorts of things that?
It was my anxiety was the main thing.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
How much time did you spend talking about the cannabis and the drugs?
Not much, really. It was more of the anxiety was sort of, to me, it seemed as Verity's goal was to help what my problem was, my big problem, what was holding me back from normal life, which was very, very helpful. I found that, a lot of people had said in the past, it's cannabis, it's just a drug, stop smoking it, etc. If you stop smoking it, you'll feel better. But it's like they didn't really understand the bigger picture. And Verity people have tried and tried different ways, but Verity's explained it to me in a way that I can actually understand and take in.
One of the things that people who work in this field spend a bit of time thinking about, worrying about, is when we make very intense and I think often very helpful relationships, which is what you're describing about, is how that might affect other relationships in the young person's life, family relationships, girlfriends, just other friendships. I mean, can you say a little bit about that? Because sometimes, making an incredibly special relationship, does that make other relationships worse, or does it change them in any way?
In my case, it's made things a lot more easier to have a relationship with my parents. And before I was so down and so sort of in my own little world that I wasn't listening to a thing my parents were saying. I was so sort of messed up, as they say. I just wasn't functioning and being able to maintain like a good relationship with my partner, my dad. Things would deteriorate with my mum, even my little sister. But it's as mine and Verity's like relationships got a lot more sort of, it seems to me, a lot more better. It's made me understand and value what people and how the relationship between people and the connection.
Things that we'll do here a bit. Could you just tell us, where things are at with? We're a substance use service, so we have to ask about your substance use, but I'm kind of interested to know about that. How much are you?
I'm not smoking cannabis no more, which I'm glad to say.
That was so obviously a trick question on my part, so I clearly knew the answer already. We're very proud of you in that way.
Thank you. And from my point of view, I can't just. It's like I can't thank Verity enough. It's she's really helped me switch my life around. I really can't put it into words. I really don't know what I would have done, without Verity.
You've done a very good job of putting quite a lot into words now. Okay, thank you very much.
It's been about 18 months since you and Dickon made the last video of kind of your journey of what it was like to work with cases and what it was like to work with me. And I guess I know where things are now because we still keep in touch, but for the purpose of people watching, you know, your old video, it'd be nice for them to know a bit from like your, you know, from you about where things are now.
I mean, things are a hell of a lot better now. It was quite rocky to start with. You know, I think the last video was made around 17-18 months ago. It was only a 6 to 10 week period from stopping the cannabis that was. You know, things were quite rocky back then. You know, over this period of time, you know, over the past year, it's been a lot of sleepless nights. You know, a lot of quite a lot of worrying, quite a lot of anxious feeling. You know, things have slowly got back on the mend. You know, now, I'm not worried as such. I'm not very anxious no more. You know, it's kind of like you have to pinpoint and mark out the problems that are behind why you smoked cannabis and why you misused the drug. You know, not as such of that's bad. That's something you shouldn't be. You know, sometimes there's always something behind why they're doing it. Yeah. You know, for me it was very anxious, very worried. I felt really left out. You know, didn't really know where I stood in life. You know, but since then, you know, things have got a hell of a lot better. You know, life's sort of looking up now. I've had no temptations to wanting to smoke cannabis again. You know, it probably lies to the fact that the big problems are now sorted out. To be honest with you, you know.
And I think
there's no need for it as such.
The fact that when we work with people in this area, a lot of people, they have these like little lapses and they maybe go back to it for a bit. But I think, you know, one of the things that has been so wonderful about like your journey is that you haven't gone back to it, and that, you know, like you said, it was dealing with the other stuff that helped you to stop using that as a kind of way to,
like a sort of
get
cover
through the day. Yeah. And you know, I think it's really nice that you're about to come and work in our team as a volunteer, and you know, use your experience to help other young people, because you know, you're the person that can say it as it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been cool.